the ancient times of Egypt, deities coexist with ordinary people, governing the realm. These gods stand out due to their towering height, possessing golden blood, and the ability to shapeshift into fearsome creatures. Among them, Osiris reigns over the fertile lands enriched by the Nile, while his embittered brother Set rules the desolate desert. Osiris decides it's time to pass the throne to his son Horus, who is romantically involved with the goddess Hathor. His affection for Hathor is profound, demonstrated by gifting her Egypt's prized possession, the bracelet of 42 stars, a talisman warding off malevolent spirits. On the day of the grand ceremony, an assembly gathers, comprising not just gods but also mortals from the city. Among these mortals are Zaya and her partner Bek, a daring thief who liberates lavish items to bring joy to his beloved, harboring dreams of escaping together. Following the gods' well wishes and the mortals' offerings, Osiris prepares to crown Horus during his speech. However, the proceedings are disrupted by Set's unexpected arrival, feigning a gift before flooding the venue with his army. Set confronts Osiris, presenting a staff received from their father, provoking a dispute, as he believes it's his turn to seize power. Refusing to battle his own sibling, Osiris faces a tragic fate. Set ruthlessly slays him, claiming the throne and instating a new decree. He decrees that access to the afterlife will now demand wealth from humanity, altering the ancient customs. Unwilling to accept this injustice, Horus swiftly engages Set in a vengeful combat, their martial prowess matching. Their skills drive them to transform into formidable beastly forms, continuing their clash in the heavens. To aid Set, his followers manipulate their shields, reflecting the sun's blinding glare upon Horus, allowing Set to seize victory and cruelly snatch Horus's eyes. Set is on the brink of ending Horus's life too, but Hathor intervenes, offering herself in exchange for Horus's survival. Consequently, Horus is banished. A year later, Set's dominion over Egypt has led to widespread enslavement, resulting in a shortage of resources required for the afterlife. Despite attempts by various gods to overthrow Set and restore the kingdom, they all perish, while Hathor feigns affection to survive amidst the chaos. Zaya toils as a slave under Set's chief architect Urshu, who is erecting the grandest obelisk in Egypt's history. Bek is assigned to labor but seizes every opportunity to visit Zaya in Urshu's quarters. One day, Zaya informs Bek of Set's returning army, laden with spoils of war, indicating the evening's unlocking of Set's vault, a perfect chance for Bek to retrieve Horus's eyes. In a bid to aid him, Zaya swipes the pyramid plans from Urshu, substituting them with blank scrolls. At nightfall, Bek leaps from a rooftop into the gold-laden carriage destined for the vault. Utilizing the purloined plans to navigate traps, Bek inadvertently triggers an unanticipated third bridge, absent from the schematics. Despite this setback, Bek's agility serves him well, evading each hazard until he reaches the statue guarding one of Horus's eyes. Grasping the eye, he plunges into a pit teeming with scorpions, shielded by the eye's radiance. By morning, Bek reunites with Zaya, only to face Urshu and guards aware of the ruse. Employing the eye to blind the guards, Bek flees with Zaya, yet Urshu from a balcony fatally wounds Zaya with a bow as they flee in a carriage. Upon arriving at Horus's sanctuary, Bek faces Horus's aggression, who wields a staff demanding the eye's return. Pledging compliance only if Horus resurrects Zaya, Bek makes an offer. However, Horus's attempts are futile. Zaya is beyond revival, her mortality irreversible. Horus summons Anubis, the god presiding over death, to guide Zaya's soul to the underworld for judgment. Concerned about her ability to afford passage into the afterlife, Bek proposes a pact. In exchange for returning the eye, Horus must devise a means to save Zaya. Horus agrees, citing potential benefits upon regaining the throne. Hiding Zaya in the temple, they depart. Set directs his forces to assail another goddess's stronghold upon discovering the missing eye. Upon reaching Horus's temple, he finds Zaya's lifeless form and seizes her necklace, dispatching his men to locate Horus. Meanwhile, Horus and Bek scale a mountain, for Horus cannot transform or confront Set without both eyes. Upon reaching the summit, Horus beseeches his grandfather, the sun god, for a temporary blessing enabling him to transform and soar, aiming to reach Ra's celestial vessel. Ra's primary responsibility is combating the shadow creature, Apophis, daily to protect Egypt. Despite Ra's stance of neutrality among his offspring, he permits Horus to collect the vessel's surrounding waters in a flask. In Egypt, the remaining rebel gods retreat behind protective barriers, allowing Set to seize an opportunity. He visits his ex-wife, Nephthys, stripping her of her wings. With Ra's brief empowerment, Horus and Bek journey back, but as they near the ground, they clumsily lose the acquired abilities. Their next step involves employing the flask's water to vanquish the desert, a move that would severely weaken Set. Prior to this, Horus sends Bek to procure regular water. Near a waterfall, Bek is ambushed by Set's Minotaur army, led by Mnevis. Horus swiftly intervenes, defeating them, yet Mnevis deceives them, staging his death. At a strategic moment, Mnevis shoves Horus and Bek off the waterfall, but their survival is owed to Horus's staff. Mnevis reports to Set, who executes him for failure and dispatches his formidable hunters after Horus. Seeking access to the underworld, Set beseeches Hathor, who, due to her previous role as counselor to the deceased, holds entry. As tensions rise and alliances shift, the struggle for power and vengeance in ancient Egypt escalates, with Set's pursuit and Horus's quest entwining destinies in a complex battle for supremacy and justice. Hathor feigns consideration when Set confronts her, realizing her enduring affection for Horus. Attempting to eliminate her, Hathor evades Set's attack by utilizing her bracelet to create a portal. Meanwhile, at Osiris's tomb, Bek and Horus pause their journey to rest. Unexpectedly, Set's hunters, mounted on massive serpents, track them down. Aware of Horus's vulnerability to the serpent's venom, Bek devises a plan, acting as bait while Horus conceals himself among the walls, enabling a sneak attack when the serpent approaches. Horus strikes the serpent but fails to hit its weak point, leading the staff to lodge in the creature's mouth. On their second attempt, Bek lures the serpent for an extended duration, allowing Horus to mount the creature and dispatch its rider. This causes the serpent to lose control, hurtling off a cliff. As they confront the remaining serpent, Hathor intervenes, seizing the staff and compelling the serpent to ignite itself. The trio escapes, but Horus harbors resentment toward Hathor, labeling her a traitor without understanding her predicament. Bek discloses their plan to retrieve the other eye using the pyramid plans, but Hathor reveals an unforeseen challenge. A sphinx guarding the pyramid, demanding a riddle's answer, threatening death otherwise. Horus seeks counsel from the god of wisdom and incessantly argues with Hathor en route. Feeling unappreciated, Hathor confides in Bek, learning about Horus's promise, a seemingly impossible feat to resurrect Zaya. Upon arriving at Thoth's temple filled with replicas of the god, Thoth declines to accompany them, suggesting they bring the riddle to him, a task likely resulting in one of their deaths. Bek cunningly manipulates the situation by inflating his ego, suggesting he'd tell the Sphinx that Thoth feared answering the riddle incorrectly. As they journey towards the pyramid, Hathor admonishes Horus for making unachievable promises to Bek, while Horus justifies it as a necessary falsehood for the greater good. At the pyramid grounds, Horus opts to await nightfall for stealth. Amidst their preparations, Thoth reminds Horus of Hathor's history. She became Set's lover to spare Thoth's life. Zaya, utilizing her magic in the sand, shows Bek an image of herself awaiting judgment. Leveraging her past role as a guide of souls, Hathor enables Bek to convey a message to Zaya, interrupted by Anubis's intervention. As evening descends, the group approaches the pyramid, finding it in perpetual motion. Bek chooses a door randomly, navigating through a moving bridge and halting its movement by manipulating a wheel. Reunited, they confront the Sphinx together, but Thoth falters with the riddle, prompting the Sphinx's assault. Stepping aside, Bek and Hathor watch as Horus confronts the Sphinx, while Thoth persists in offering answers, until finally hitting upon the correct one, vanquishing the Sphinx. Advancing towards the pyramid's core, they encounter a trap. Hathor and Horus are ensnared in a cage while Set emerges, seizing Thoth's intellect. Bek, determined to proceed with the plan, faces a dilemma when Set presents Zaya's necklace and exposes Horus's deceit. Uncertain whom to trust, Bek hesitates, enabling Set to confiscate and obliterate the flask. Departing, Set leaves them trapped, hoping the pyramid's collapse will end their lives. Yet Horus ingeniously escapes the cage, guiding his companions to safety using the wheel for cover. Outside the pyramid, Bek confronts Horus about his lies, disillusioned by the gods' apparent disregard for their people. Feeling indebted to Bek, Hathor bargains with Anubis, offering herself in exchange for Bek's safe passage to the underworld. Anubis agrees, and Hathor bids a poignant farewell to Horus with a kiss, leaving her bracelet behind for Bek's protection against demons. Safely guided by the bracelet, Bek ventures into the underworld, seeking Zaya amidst the lines of souls awaiting judgment. Meanwhile, Set enhances his beastly transformation by incorporating Thoth's brain, Osiris's heart, Horus's eye, and Nephthys's wings into his enchanted armor. He heads to the solar vessel, seeking retribution against Ra for his desert exile. Ra elucidates that he hadn't played favorites. Everything was a test. Osiris was given the crown, and when the time arrived, he was expected to relinquish power, passing the test. Set's desert exile was a test of patience, as Ra envisages Set's eventual ascension to the vessel. In a fit of rage, Set attacks Ra, who retaliates with his formidable solar beam. Despite Ra's immense power, Set, empowered by multiple gods, triumphs over Ra, releasing Apophis, the space worm, from captivity. In the underworld, Beck locates Zaya and attempts to offer her the bracelet to secure her passage to the afterlife. However, their reunion is disrupted by Apophis's assault, prompting Anubis to close the gates temporarily. Encouraged by Zaya, Beck reconsiders giving Horus a second chance, employing the bracelet to return to Egypt and reunite with Horus. Together, they devise a plan, coercing Urshu, the architect, to help them access the obelisk. Meanwhile, Set, wielding Ra's spear atop the obelisk, commands Apophis to target the Nile, the source of life. Horus and Beck, aided by Nephthys's carriage, abduct Urshu to infiltrate the obelisk. As Horus ascends the obelisk, Urshu engages in a fierce struggle, causing a torch to ignite the elevator. In a quick decision, Beck secures himself with a rope, leaping off the elevator just before it succumbs to flames, plummeting with Urshu trapped inside. At the pinnacle, Horus confronts Set, initiating another intense brawl. While Set believes he has the upper hand, Beck arrives for a stealthy attack. Amidst their clash, Beck removes the eye from Set's armor. In a surprising turn, Beck tosses the eye towards Horus, who, opting for benevolence over greed, saves Beck instead of reclaiming the eye. Apologizing to Beck, Horus undergoes a transformation into his beastly form, valuing virtue over material gain. Safely leaving Beck below, Horus resumes the confrontation with Set, purposefully striking the obelisk structure, causing it to collapse upon Set. As Set tumbles to the ground, Horus delivers the final blow using Ra's spear. Returning the spear to Ra, Horus aids in the defeat of Apophis, restoring balance and prompting Anubis to reopen the gates of the underworld. After retrieving his other eye, Horus encounters Beck, only to witness Beck's tragic demise caused by Set's prior attack. Overcome with sorrow, Horus places Beck and Zaya together in his temple. Moved by Horus's assistance, Ra revives the young couple as a token of gratitude. Days later, Egypt flourishes once more. Horus is officially crowned king, swiftly rectifying the afterlife's rules, prioritizing virtue over wealth for passage. Acknowledging Beck's invaluable service, Horus appoints him as chief advisor, returning the bracelet to aid Horus in his quest to rescue Hathor from the underworld. Thus, Horus embarks on a quest that not only exemplifies his determination, but also underscores his commitment to just governance and compassion.